Debate live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Adam, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in the Earth Awakenings Discord server. So welcome one and all.
How are you?
Very well.
Very good day.
Hi, Nathan.
Hello, good to be in a different server. Been intending to do this since the start of 2025. It's the first time I've actually done it, beyond asking permission to do so last time we came. Yeah, good to be here. How are you all? In Discord, that is.
Doing good, doing good.
When Geo gets here, if he does get here, is he here already? Tell him he's getting a treatment today from Quantum Eraser, so he may not be aware of that. In fact, he'll definitely not be aware of that because I'm aware of it. Only as of yesterday evening, after finishing editing my book with help from Adam and Quantum Eraser himself. Now, he's pointed out that obviously this is also serving as a plug for a show, so Be Here or Be Sphere on the Quantum Eraser channel tonight, 7 PM, where the owner of this server is going to be put on the spot potentially because he's up against Ruhif, who's our opponent in earnest. Nevertheless, as anybody who's familiar with Flat Earth debate will be aware, it's typically fair game no matter who you are. So I might as well prompt him to that fact because he might need to be girding his loins if he's going to be opposing Ruhif. There's a good chance that he's going to come under the same degree of scrutiny from Quantum Eraser. On the other hand, most people are quite open to that, you know. If they're not doing something the way Quantum Eraser likes doing it, everybody loves being criticised by him, don't they? Am I wrong?
Who is not criticized by Quantum Eraser? And that's a good thing.
Well, at least with me, he tries to do it subtly. With you, he's more blatant. Anyway, so yeah, check it out. If you're a fan of this server and indeed Quantum Eraser, you'll definitely be well served tuning into Quantum Eraser's channel this evening, which is at 7 PM UK time. And yeah, you'll see the host, or owner, I should say, of this server where we are today, Earth Awakenings, Geo. He might not come in that much under the microscope. When I actually quizzed QE about this, he was like, he explained that he hadn't watched it, as in he captured what he wanted to capture because Ruhif was involved. But coincidentally, Geo's also involved. So, I mean, that does ultimately mean that there's a good chance if Geo's doing things he shouldn't, he's going to get a pasting. I don't know Geo well enough to know whether or not that would be the case, though.
I'll give you an example. If Geo says, well, your model does not work. Uh-oh, we got a problem with model.
Well, that's a good example because it's something I would get in the neck and still do frequently get it in the neck for. So there you go. That's almost unilaterally true because so many people abuse this term model, don't they, Neil?
Absolutely, and it's in us. So there are times when you slip.
Right, not in most language. That's how we've come to be familiar with the terminology of being on a reified ball flying through a sky vacuum.
Atmosphere is another one.
Hey, Chocolate.
Morning, guys. How's everybody doing?
Very well. So, last year, we came to the conclusion that we needed to spread the good word of Earth being measured flat, and we successfully did so, albeit to the point where some flat earthers just use it as a punchline to rebut TFE, not knowing what that actually means. In any event, TFE itself has led us to the conclusion that we need to go back to basics and do the tour, hence this being in different servers like Earth Awakenings, to go through the basics of science and the scientific method. So people are acutely aware of what science is, and therefore, more importantly, what it is not. So hence, when I do toddle along, we'll ask a question or two in terms of housekeeping to keep it well and truly alive, so people don't misrepresent what we've talked about for the last 8 years, maybe. So any scientific evidence of gravity come your way, guys, in Earth Awakenings? Probably the right answer. What about any single viable hypothesis in the entire history of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? When it came to TFE, they didn't have a viable hypothesis. I personally asked Will Duffy. That is to say, he left a comment on one of my videos. I responded by asking him, what's your hypothesis for the experiment claimed in the E in TFE? Experiment, right? Well, no, Duffy's a fraud, and when called on it, he said you can call it an expedition if you like, affirming his own fraud, because he's hijacking the terminology of science, in this case experiment, which is hypothesis actualization. That's what an experiment is. Step 2, formulate hypothesis. Independent and dependent variables. It's back to 2017 and QE writing out stuff in pink lettering to fundamentalist zealots on the ball side of the discussion. You want to say that they've got, typically, scientific evidence of this, that, and the other? Well, that's started to eke in again since the fraud Duffy's got away with hijacking his terminology, calling it experiment, claiming he's had a successful prediction when he observes a phenomena. That'd be step 1 of the method of science being adhered to if you want to consider anything that's being done down there scientific. It isn't. Nevertheless, step 1, observe phenomena. That's something happening in nature. Step 2, presume a cause of it. I think this will cause that phenomena to happen. That's called an independent variable. And that's basically it. That's your hypothesis done. You have the constituent parts thereof. Independent variable and dependent variable. Presumed cause and effect. The thing you observed in nature that you want to know the cause of. So that's what you have if you are doing an experiment. An independent and dependent variable. And then an experiment is just you varying your independent variable to see if it causes the dependent variable. If it does, that's a successful experiment. If it doesn't, that's also a successful experiment because you confirm the null hypothesis. Zero difference result. If A, not B. Why it's an empirical method. It's why it's been hijacked. Once you understand how it works, you understand how it proves things. Just using a few words from the method makes it sound like looking at the sun proves things. It doesn't. But that's why they use the words like experiment.
Can you have more than one independent variable?
Can you have more than one Lone Ranger? Hello,
I guess the closest they would have to a experiment or a hypothesis would be Earth curve causes the 24-hour sun.
Not really. Their assumption of Earth curve comes in an antipodal assumption at the start of their declarations. If I travel to the bottom of a ball, like south being down in their presupposition, then I will observe a 24-hour sun. And then if I affirm that, you can say, I observed the 24-hour sun, therefore my journey to Antarctica was antipodal on a ball, I assumed. So it's not necessarily them formulating it into a hypothesis where if a curve, then a 24-hour sun, it's actually, I assume a curve, therefore if I see a 24-hour sun, it confirms my assumption in curve, affirming the consequent. Anyway, it ends science. So that's kind of why we're here. And, you know, depends how much resistance we find against that when we come to you or any other server for that matter. That will dictate how long we keep returning for. So hopefully it'll be understood and we'll all move forward in the same vein, righteous in our quest for people to understand the nature of the flat earth we all live on. and how they've been deceived into thinking otherwise with the words of science, which 99% of the time, people who are using the words of science haven't actually got science. That'd be an adherence to the scientific method. That's why we're here.
Maybe we can help them out. What would cause the 24-hour sun?
What's the sun?
Right.
I mean, we'd need that before we know what caused it to do things. What is it? To answer that, which was not rhetorical, we don't know what the sun is. Now, you can suppose through spectroscopy that you can discern what is the sun when you have various different stuff between us and it, regardless of what rhetoric you believe in. But in their rhetoric, they've got a 93 million mile distance that's derived from flat Earth elevation angles, stars, to create a spherical model to put in orbit around a sun, also with planes to describe that motion. Orbital motion being a necessitation of a flat plane being measured in the first instance to create that reifiable model. It isn't, because you'd have to bend the ground that you measured flat to create that mathematics. Well, that is what they utilise to then be scaled by Kepler and Huygens. Well, that scaling gives them vast distances that rely on Earth being measured flat, making the nonsensical assertion that the ground measured flat is actually bent when projected to points above your head, between you and a projected sphere that you've made, called the celestial sphere, with an infinite distance, that when put in motion around the sun gives you the ability to scale it with Venus. No, all nonsense, all violating the base principle that this all starts with, which is Earth measured as a plane. Create the idea of a ball in space, violating natural law. Nevertheless, their distance to the sun, is that's what we're going to be talking about, and its properties when they use spectroscopy, is absolutely beyond our capabilities of understanding, all of ours, not just mine. It's not a ha-ha, you're a flat earther, you don't know what the sun is. No, I know what you think it is and how you came to that conclusion. I just exemplified that. But I don't actually know, and I'm more than content to admit that before I start asserting that I can decide how and why it's done things. I wouldn't be
What
so
is
bold.
spectroscopy?
Study a light. In a controlled sense, you'd be studying it in a box, isolated from other things. In terms of stellar spectroscopy, that is not the case. Just sticking a telescope up and looking at some lights and then deciding what they are based on their properties without being able to control what's between you and that light. It's a complete sham. Spectroscopy, real. Stellar spectroscopy, bullshit. Please share the show. 77 people watching. We've only just started this stream. Hopefully one of the moderators will stick a link to the server that we're actually in today, which is Earth Awakenings. So if you're not already a participant of Earth Awakenings, you can join their server. I don't actually know the process that you have to go through to be affirmed in their group, but I'm sure it's pretty simple and straightforward, like with most Discord servers, if you are familiar with Discord. So hopefully you'll click on the link. That'll be going by hopefully in the next 2 seconds or so. Divergent droids all over it, I would hope. And yeah, we'll get a link to Earth Awakening so you can join this server, which is where we are residing today. Good to be here. Please share the show as well. Smash the share button. 82 people watching. Thank you, whoever just hit the share button. Yeah, I'm kind of done. That's why I set up a video to do, by the way, because once I've come in, getting back to basics doesn't take very long. Science is the thing. It proves things that are happening in nature. If you vary and manipulate that which you assume will cause it, and it does, then that is the thing that caused it. It's empirical, and people use the terms to hijack stuff that isn't empirical, they've just made up just those stories about. So they use sciencey words to make it seem like they're fallacious reasoning, in this case travelling to the bottom of a ball by assumption, in TFE, has some sort of semblance of scientific validity when it doesn't. But if you know what science is, you'll know what it isn't. So that's kind of all we've got to do in terms of passing that message back down the line, because it's already come up once. We're going back to basics after all. So if this isn't unfamiliar, you'll know why it's unfamiliar. It's because it's not. It should be familiar by now. It's just the opponents who have used this term experiment now think it's cool to start using that terminology again. No, we have to stamp that fire out quickly. So hopefully, ancillary servers like Earth Awakenings, Politics, 24/7, and indeed the one I frequent most of all, which is not mine, but run almost exclusively for Flat Earth Debate, the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, align and start stamping out this garbage in case it creeps in from the ball side, who, let's face it, are still in the majority.
Especially from the same cornballs who told us that science doesn't prove things after throwing in our face that science proves every aspect of this nonsensical ball, right? Then after asked to provide their science, all of a sudden, like, oh, no, science doesn't prove things. Now, all of a sudden, there's an experiment that's going to prove something. Observation of the sun. Crap. Sorry.
No, don't apologise. It just makes Jaron Campanella seem like a shill. And let me explain. I'm just throwing that term out there to be, what's the word? Salacious. I mean, in a sincere way that would make sense contextually when you understand that about 6 months ago, maybe longer, the original attempt was probably 18 months ago, but however long is irrelevant. A period of time ago, Jaron and indeed lots of other stooges who seem to surround him were approached personally by myself, and in the case of Witsit, by others, Quantum Eraser in his case, to explain in no uncertain terms what I've just summarised for you guys in Earth Awakenings. Science and the scientific method, how it proves things, and therefore what isn't science. When are they hijacking these terms? And for that privilege, that would be me teaching Jaron what the scientific method is, I was actually called a scammer, and the justification for being called a scammer by Jaron was to say that Jaron would assert otherwise. Science doesn't prove things, isn't empirical, isn't a method that's advanced humanity. How dare I'm a scammer, said Jaron in response. 18 months or however long, don't hold me to that. Later, Jaron's going to Antarctica to perform an experiment that apparently has rocked his worldview to the point where he's no longer a flat earther, end quote him. Oh, how interesting. So, under the guise of pseudoscience, in reality, named an experiment, falsely so, by a fraud called Duffy, Jaron's aligned with this in the name of science. Very shilly.
Why is he a fraud, though?
Because he's claiming science, where he's actually, when called upon to correct that crap, said, you can call it, this is Duffy, an expedition, if you like. Because he was asked for his independent and dependent variable, aka hypothesis, by me, and he doesn't have one. It isn't science, it isn't an experiment, therefore it's fraud.
But why is it a fraud if someone just say, hey, you want to go on a trip? Hey, I'll pay for you to go somewhere.
Just told you like 25 seconds ago.
How is that being fraudulent?
I just told you 25 seconds ago. Did you not listen to what I just said 25 seconds ago? Shall I repeat it?
Yeah, I heard what you said, but why is that? Why do you think that's fraudulent?
I just told you 25 seconds ago why it would be fraudulent. And it's like
it was actually a place where you said there was no 24-hour sun, didn't you?
You keep talking then. Fine. You don't want me to answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I tried 3 times.
I mean, we all heard what you said. You said there was no 24-hour sun, and there wasn't.
I didn't say that.
But there was.
I didn't say that.
Now what do you say?
I did not say that.
You did say that. You did say that.
I said, in answer to the... What's going on? Why am I getting yammered through by somebody who seems very unreasonable? What's going on?
Well, this isn't your channel, so this isn't your channel, so there's no mute button here.
Didn't bring up a mute button. I asked why you're being unreasonable. I'm trying to have a reasonable discussion with you and immediately into yammering through the middle of my... Like you're doing now. This is being unreasonable. I'm asking why you're doing that. As you're doing it, I still haven't taken breath in this sentence. You've interrupted twice so far. I haven't taken breath. So you want to talk about my mute button? I still haven't taken breath. You're being a dick.
You claim there was no 24-hour sun, Nathan, didn't you?
Quote me.
It's been quoted. It's been in many videos.
So quote me.
We all heard it.
So stuttery, you can't quote me, can you?
You said there is no 24-hour sun, and there isn't.
That's not a quote. I didn't say that. I already said
You
once
did
when he
say
said it
that.
the first time.
You
when
did
Earth is
say
life,
that.
now he's interrupting me, being unreasonable while I
There's no
respond to him.
24-hour
I'm
sun,
responding,
and
he's
there
yammering
isn't.
through me. So what is it? I haven't got a mute button here, so your tolerance of being able
There
to
is
yammer
no
through the middle,
24-hour
still
sun.
in the middle of the
Hold
same
on, Earth
sentence,
is life.
somebody
Earth
who's
is life,
thick and
dude.
unreasonable,
You guys
he's going to
gotta
claim
go
that
one
it's
at a
unfair
time,
because
bro.
he's going to use his mute button on me. I'm in the middle of talking. He's interrupting me twice or three times in the middle of one statement. I didn't say those words. They aren't a quote. You haven't quoted me. You're just making stuff up about me. I don't
All right,
like
should
that.
I pull up the video?
What I did say, I'm still talking. I did say he's a fraud
Stop.
when you asked
Pause
me.
for a second.
Third interruption, same statement. What I did actually say to you when asked, why is he a fraud? So I said he's a fraud because he's claimed science and experiment when he hasn't got it. He was challenged and said you can call it an expedition. That was his response. Affirming, confirming his fraud. That's what I answered you with. Then you made up a quote I hadn't said.
So are you claiming you never said ever in your entire life that there was no 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Are you claiming that now, Nathan?
Do you have a quote of me saying it? If you do, we'll deal with it. If you don't, do you just need to burn this straw man for something that you can't quote me on?
So when I pull up the quote, what are you going to say?
I'll deal with
You're
it
gonna
when
claim
you
you didn't
quote
say
me.
that?
Quote me then.
Okay.
I don't hear you quoting me. What's going on? Why are we hearing
You
silence?
saying it. I mean, like,
Right. Yeah.
what the fuck?
Video
Why am I
of you
being
sitting on
sworn
your
at?
couch.
I
saying
seemed
those
reasonable.
exact
Hold
same
on.
words.
Sorry, Earth is life. Somebody else is now swearing at me, it would seem. I don't know what's going on. I seemed reasonable.
Yeah, you didn't stop talking.
No, you said
There's
you
a
would quote me.
video of you sitting on your. Oh my God. There's a video of you sitting on your couch.
Is this a quote?
Saying those exact same
So
words.
is this the quote? Is this a
Are
quote?
you going to claim that
Is
you
this a
didn't
quote?
say them?
Is this a quote?
Yes, it is a quote.
No, it's not. It's you
You said
describing
them
me
with
sat
your-
on a
with your
sofa.
lips in your mouth.
You're not quoting me.
You said there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica,
So
and there isn't.
has that got quote marks around it?
That's a quote.
Is that the quote that
That's
I've
a
already
quote.
said twice I didn't say that? Is that got quote marks?
Okay,
If
I'm
so,
literally doing air
put
quotes
quote
here.
marks. Oh my
Air
God.
quotes.
Do I have
There
to
is no
tolerate this
24-hour
guy
sun,
yammering
and
through
there
me,
isn't.
talking about a quote he's not quoting?
I just quoted it.
That was not a quote.
Those are your words, Nathan.
Was that a
You're
quote?
running away from it?
Pull up a video clip of it and then show us. You or Roger that can pull up a video clip and then show us, and then we'll examine it.
Right, what does this guy not know how a quote works? I don't get it. Why are we spending 10 minutes? Why can't he say, quote, words, end quote, you? That's how a quote works. And if it's wrong, that's to say he says in those quote, unquote, things I haven't said, that's unreasonable. Now, he's done that 4 times, and when I lose my temper about it, I'm like, that isn't a quote. It's like, yeah, it is. You were sat on a couch saying it. So what were the exact words I used? Verbatim, inside quotation marks that you use. You haven't done that yet. You're like, well, what are you going to say about them? What, the words you haven't quoted yet? While you go and look them up and get them, presumably while I'm saying this.
You're the one demanding a quote. He's already told you several times, word for word, what you said. How difficult is that to follow?
So do you want to put it back in quotes for me? So we can understand what quote, unquote, I said?
There is no 24-hour sun, and there isn't. He's said it repeatedly.
Right, that was after an interview with a man who just told me that there wasn't one, correct?
Does it matter? You're the one saying you needed a quote. You have it. Now deal with it.
Sorry, was that rhetorical when you asked me if it mattered? What, contextually, after interviewing a man who had been to Antarctica and spent 18 months, he specifically told me there wasn't, and I'm affirming that. You're saying that's unreasonable for me to confirm as a host what a guest had told me. That's unreasonable, is it? Hello, I don't seem to be getting a response. Lots of people talking through me while they misquote me. Now we've got the actual quote. That's based on context of a man telling me there isn't one, having spent 18 months there. Is that unreasonable? Nobody's answering me. Okay, then. So, yeah, Robert Shortman spent 18 months there and said there wasn't a 24-hour sun. Now, I don't suggest that Robert Shortman lied to me. Now, we could say, assuming retroactive continuity, that he is lying because there is one now. But for all I know, he was correct in his assertions that he didn't see one. And everybody who went down there is also correct when they say they do. I personally haven't been down there. I wouldn't know what the state of play is down in Antarctica. Has anybody here been down there to affirm what happens?
No, but yeah, I think certain parts of Antarctica are outside the Antarctic Circle, so it could be both for sure.
Could be. I'm willing to accept it's complete nonsense. I'm also willing to accept that it absolutely, without question, definitely occurred. Makes no difference to me either way.
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact of the lack of curvature, the lack of motion, so...
Well, I don't get why I was challenged on this.
Told you we're not like you.
Earth is life. What was that all about? Was there a purpose to that?
So there you go. There's your 2 quotes. They're in the chat. You can check them out. So would you like to address what you said?
I just did. Were you not listening?
No, watch the videos. That way you can hear what you said.
I know what I said. I'm me. I'm the one who said the words that come out of my own friggin' mouth.
So now that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, now what?
I just explained 35... Is this the second time I've done this with this guy, where I've said something and then 25 seconds later he's asking me to repeat it? Okay, let's try and repeat what I've just literally said, hopefully without Earth is Life yammering through the middle of it, asking me if I've got a mute button or something, as he chants through the middle of my explanation. Let's try. Yeah, a guy who I'm talking to about Antarctica and his trip down there where he spent 18 months and did not see 24 hours of sun, according to his first-hand testimony, would mean that unless we assume we must have retroactive continuity, therefore making him a liar, I can only assume that the circumstances have changed based on the information currently being disseminated by people who have been proven to be liars by myself personally. People like Whitsitt, a proven liar, and Duffy, who's being criminally investigated for defrauding people in terms of monetary funds that solicitors have had to set up hotlines for.
Right, that's
in terms of
irrelevant.
circumstances that I'm
irrelevant.
definitely going to be interrupted when I describe his prior dealings in terms of what people could presumably rightly call fraud. I'm going to get interrupted. I've already justified this. I'm assuming it's Earth is Life that's talking straight through the middle of me while I'm explaining something for the second time that he didn't listen to the first time, and I'm having to repeat while Earth is Life yammers through me. Maybe Earth is Life is mute button. Earth is Life's got a good mute button and he's using it as he sees fit. Earth is Life's mute button works really well. When Earth is Life decides that he's going to mute me, you can be damn sure Earth is Life gets his way. Until a moderator server mutes him. Because why did I have to put up with that? Why? Asshole. No.
On both sides, though, I did take care of it. He was interrupting you, but please refrain from the calling people liars. You know, that requires a lot of motive and whatnot, and we try not to, do that here, please.
Who did I call a liar?
I believe you said a couple people were liars, like Whitsitt and stuff, and he's like a live stream host here.
Yes,
please,
I've proven
please
that.
don't do that.
Yes, I've proven that personally with Whitsitt. So when calling out Whitsitt for his lie and giving him the example in the moment that he lied with, his response to me was say, "You are putting me in a position where I must be contradictory." That's his response.
We're
then
not
he laughed,
in a court of law. We're
and
not
then
going to
called me
suss
a
out all this right now. We're just going to move
what's going on? I was just responding. My justification for calling Whitsitt a liar is that he is one, and I've proven that beyond all doubt.
Yeah, to yourself. We're not in a court of law.
No,
it's all good. We could just move on.
I published it. Do you want to hear it? I've got it cut down to about 30 seconds with him double speaking and lying in the same
Obviously,
breath.
I don't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear Whitsitt being proven to be a liar? Oh, I see. You Whitsitt simps.
Then don't call some people to call people liar if you don't want to hear.
Yeah, Whitsitt is a liar. I've proven that. I proved it to his face. It wasn't like I didn't do it in his presence. He lied to me.
No, I'm not saying to you, Nathan. I'm saying
good.
to
I'm
him.
good, Sasha. I'm good.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, he lied to my face to justify the lie I was pointing out with evidence. And when that was pointed out to him, he said, "Oh, you're putting me in a position where I have to contradict myself to my audience." AKA lie to them. He blamed his lies and justification for lies with more lies on me. And then called me a grifter when I proved beyond all doubt he's a liar with his own words when he was lying. because he's a liar. He lies. He lied to me, he lied to an audience, it was published. You don't have to like that. If you say, oh, well, I'm not allowed to call him a liar. No, I will, he is. You can remove me because you want to defend liars, if you like. You can say, you're not allowed to be here and call a liar, even though you've proven beyond all doubt he's a liar and it's published and you can demonstrate it. You're not going to call him a liar here. Well, I'm not welcome because I call a spade and a liar a liar.
To do.
Hold on, it's all good, dude. I've heard your panel before say weak people talk about other people, and I thought we were discussing ideas on the flat earth and getting back to the basics, so I was just trying to you know, control the conversation so that dude wasn't interrupting you, and that way we could get back to what you were trying to do about the basics.
Yeah, then you told me I couldn't call people liars. Then you gave me an order, which I disavowed. You said you can't call people liars. I went, I will. Now, if you don't like me being here because I called someone who's a liar that I've proven a liar, who lied to my face and my audience and his audience, and that was proven a liar, then you can get rid of me. But you'll be called a bigot and a zealot, and people will be presumably intolerant to you, as that is unreasonable behaviour on your part when you said, I'm not allowed to call people liars. I will when I prove that fact. Now, you say we're not a court of law here. I don't care what you are. Whitsit's a liar, and I've proven that. You don't have to like it. He's lying and grifting this community of flat earthers with his nonsense. Doublespeak about ether. All behind a paywall. Paying for consultations to get this crap that he grifts people with and lies about. Distanced of light and its travel and its motion, specifically to do with his grift with ether. All lies that was all called out. It's all been documented. He's had it put to him personally. And that's how it is. We've got grifters in the community that are literally defiling the flat earth subject for money. That's Whitsit. If you want to defend him, well, okay. Why? He's a grifter.
Why are we talking about Whitsit again?
I don't know. I was told off for calling people liars.
Come here to do. Didn't come here to talk about anything else.
I don't even know how we got on that topic. I was trying to get it back to what we were talking about, and it's really weird at this point. Yeah.
Well, you told me off. You said I couldn't. You brought it up.
Like a 5-year-old, dude.
You brought it up. You said I couldn't call people liars.
This is what elementary children do. You know that, right?
Man, what are you talking about? You put it up that.
Yeah,
I didn't put it up, dude. I said, can we get back to the normal conversation?
You said how you can call people liar. If somebody is lying, how you call that guy?
I didn't Whitsit get into the conversation.
I don't remember bringing Whitsit up.
I'm saying, if somebody's lying, how you call that guy?
Yes.
Why are you still on this? What does this prove of your position?
No,
how do you even get? How about this? We'll get back to the. How about we get back to? Listen. How about we get back to the empirical method? Can you describe to us if the empirical method is the only way to obtain knowledge? Listen, bro, chill out.
Who said that?
Moderate this panel and not.
Okay, if the empirical method is the only way to obtain knowledge, and knowledge comes strictly through observation, where do I observe that?
Who said that? Is that your claim? Strictly
That's what I said. Who said that?
I'm just trying to get back to a topic, dude.
Okay, but it was after you told me I couldn't say people were liars, and then you told me I'd said Whitsit was a liar. I don't remember bringing up the Whitsit. You did that. It caused a bit of chaos.
Dude, this is boring, dude. This is so boring, bro.
Okay, when you do things like tell people they're not allowed to call people out on being liars, and they object, and then you say, no, you said Whitsit was a liar, and then you tell me off for talking about Whitsit, and now I'm pointing that out. You don't like that, and you're saying it's boring. Well, okay, that's your behaviour, not mine. I was talking about science with that Earth guy. Now, fair enough, you stepped in and modded, and I thank you for that. Good job. Because he was getting unreasonable, just constantly chanting through me while I was answering his questions about science and the scientific method, the hijacking thereof. That was what I was talking about. But it became objectionable to that Earth is Life guy. Now, thank you. I assume you're one of the moderators here. You're doing a good job. Great.
Okay, let's move on. Enough meta.
I'd kind of finished. I've got nothing else to do once I establish, with time, so long as I'm always welcome. So long as I'm always welcome, with time, I'll get to a point where I'm content that some fundy zealot comes through your way, with all due respect, this is your turf, and you just hand him his own arse when it comes to this method of science, empirically validating cause and effect in nature. That takes time. I can go through it again.
I don't know. Well, when we got in here, we heard a lot of brouhaha about supposedly being their sun being in Antarctica 24 hours. I'm serious.
Are you trying to talk?
Yeah, it's chocolate.
You guys
Very
hear me?
chocolate.
Chocolate, Mike's really quiet.
You're really quiet, chocolate.
Yeah, try and do something with your mic. We're on a live stream here. We're trying to keep the audio clean. So if you could fix your mic, that'd be great.
Mic check, mic check.
Just a bit quiet, chocolate. Anyway, we'll give up on chocolate for a minute because obviously it's a bit tenuous at the moment and unclear audio is not going to help us. Yeah,
where's QE at? Why don't you bring QE in here?
Hey,
Oh, I got a question.
in my line, I guess.
All right. So last time we talked, I asked about which map you could use to draw circles of equal altitude. You mentioned the Mercator. Do you have an example of that or any proof of concept, anything that could substantiate that claim?
What claim did I make?
That you could draw circles of equal altitude on a Mercator to do celestial navigation.
Yeah, you can. Can you show me any globe that's ever capable of drawing a circle of equal altitude on? Oh, you can't, can you? You can't draw circles of equal altitude.
First.
Oh, my bad. It was rhetorical, Bacon. Yeah, circles that are two-dimensional, so they require a flat map to draw them on, don't they? Whatever the map is, it doesn't matter. They'll all have to be flat, won't they, for a circle of equal altitude?
I'm not sure why you're talking about a globe. I'm trying to understand how you do that on flat Earth.
You don't do it on a globe.
Could use the Mercator.
I've just explained that to you, Bacon. I just explained it 20 seconds ago. I just explained it to you 20 seconds ago. Didn't you listen?
Can you wait until I'm done?
Did you not listen? I explained it 20 seconds ago, Bacon. Maybe if you keep talking. Do you want to repeat it?
Talking.
He was still speaking, Nathan. Give him the courtesy that you demand from everybody else.
Okay. So when I asked which map you said the Mercator, I'm asking for you to substantiate that claim. I'm not talking about a globe. I don't care about a globe. And when I mentioned I've tried the Mercator and it didn't work, all you responded was that I wasn't lost in the ocean, so that didn't count.
Well, were you lost in the ocean?
Obviously not.
So you weren't trying to navigate to find your way with celestial navigation. Personally, I'll be honest, right, which is what you're trying to corner with me. I'll give you. No, I'm not qualified to do this. My sister did qualify in celestial navigation because she's had several boats, which I have been out with her. But ultimately, if we'd have been in danger, I'd have relied on her and my brother-in-law to make sure we didn't die when they plotted out a position with their sextant and their almanac. I won't take the credit that my sister and brother-in-law would ultimately need giving because they were the ones that paid the money, bought the boat, paid for the courses, got qualified, and were allowed to go out on the sea on a boat, not me. So when you say, could I do it? No, I mean, I'd have to go and get in touch with someone who could. That would be my sister. And say, how'd you do this? This guy's challenged me on it with a Mercator, and I don't really know how to answer him because really I'm not qualified to work with a flat map that it absolutely must be to draw a flat two-dimensional circle on it so that we don't die at sea with a flat system, with flat reference frames, flat distances, and circles that are two-dimensional that absolutely, without question, will only work on a flat surface when plotting our position on the flat world we dwell atop, when measuring it flat with elevation angles. As for it working on a spherical surface, no two-dimensional circle will ever work on a three-dimensional spherical surface. That can't work. Earth must be flat for this to functionally work on any map, and they're all flat. So, okay, asking me the nitty-gritty details, you can have it. I'd have to ask my sister who is qualified in celestial navigation. I personally am not. Sorry. Did you say you were qualified? Sorry, just one follow-up question. Are you qualified in celestial navigation, just out of interest, Bacon?
Oh, I've tried myself a couple of times, and I think
not my question.
I got the.
Not my question. That wasn't my question. Are you qualified? Like my sister had to take a test. Make sure that she's qualified to not let people die if they're out with her on a boat. Same with my brother-in-law. Do you have that qualification?
I haven't taken any official tests. I've done it though, but
oh right.
I mean that's a deflection from my question.
Is it really?
Because I haven't answered it.
I answered your question about whether or not I could do it on a Mercator projection, and I said I'd have to consult my sister who's qualified in this, and then went on to explain how it would only work. Is it just me, or did the mods tell me not to interrupt him? Yeah, I'll thank you to not using mute button on me, Bacon. It's the second attempt. I'd have to qualify this by answering it from someone else's lips, which I can't do. So I'll ask my sister how it works on a Mercator projection, or any flat map for a flat circle of equal elevation that would necessitate Earth be flat to perform this function with flat angles. So I've put quite a few things back to you about how Earth must be measured flat there, Bacon. Let's see if you respond to any of those things, or if the mods will help me on my way with the things that you'll undoubtedly ignore, like the flat elevation angles and the flat 2D circles and the absolute unequivocal inability to do this on a 3-dimensional spherical surface with 2D circles that will go on flat maps. Let's see if you address any of that, Bacon. I'm done.
Okay. I didn't ask you how you do that on the Mercator. I asked you to substantiate your claim that this can be done on the Mercator. Any source, anything where you got this claim from. If you
celestial navigation.
don't know how to do it because you just admitted
was that rhetorical, or did you want an answer?
Let me just get the end of it.
Did you want an answer? It's the same question. Was it rhetorical?
I wasn't... Well, you went for quite a long time. Let me...
so you asked me a question. It doesn't matter how long I went. You asked a question. Do you want an answer to it, or do you want to keep answering the same question that I should be answering, but it's rhetorical? You asked me something. No, I'd have to qualify that with my sister. I've never done it. I'm not personally qualified, and neither are you. But what I do know is it's done on flat maps that require Earth to be measured flat, to plot these flat circles on flat maps. And it's there interrupting me. I don't know about in terms of what, qualifying celestial navigation. No, there's people who actually get paid to test and qualify people like my sister to do it. It's called celestial navigation. There's tests. So what, do I need to substantiate it? There's a whole industry testing people on it. What are you babbling about? You wouldn't know. You've never been on a boat. You wouldn't know. You'd never been on a boat.
The Mercator can be used for circles of equal altitude. If you can't, then
I
just
heard
say
you.
no.
I said I'd ask my sister, who's qualified in using flat Earth and flat angles and flat circles, to not die at sea if she took someone out on a boat. No, that's not me. I'll ask her for you, Bacon. But then he went on to say, could you substantiate this process at all? And I've said, what, this thing that my sister and brother-in-law were qualified in, had to pay for tests to do, to not die at sea when plotting circles of equal elevation on flat maps that definitely must work on a flat Earth. Oh, yeah, I don't need to substantiate. That's called celestial navigation. I answered you.
He doesn't want to hear about your sister, Nathan.
Since you clearly haven't done it yourself,
neither of you.
So I'm
neither of you. Neither of you. Neither of you. You're not qualified. Neither of you.
Bro, you gotta let me finish.
Neither of you. I'm not going to have this held against me like it's some charge that's going to hold because you've done it and I haven't. No, I've been out on a boat. I've been out on a boat. Have you been out on a boat, Bacon? Bacon, have you been out on boats?
Somewhere.
He's telling me.
So far, what I'm getting is my sister knows it. So, is the way that information got to you, like your sister said so? Is that how you got that information?
That's called celestial navigation, third time.
Yeah, where in celestial navigation says you can draw circles on the Mercator?
Sorry, not on a Mercator. I'd have to double check that. So are we going around in circles, moderators, or is it just me answering his question about whether or not it can be done on a Mercator? I'll ask my sister. I'm not qualified. And then he's asked a third time the same thing to try and have me over a barrel on it. And I said, no, whether or not it's substantially done on a flat Earth with flat Earth elevation angles is definitely a thing. I don't need to substantiate that. It's called celestial navigation. Fourth time. Are we done? Bacon, are we done?
I clearly...
Have you been out on a boat?
Response
Have you been out on a boat?
No substantiation, at least so far.
Have you been out on a boat?
The Mercator can be used. So if you can find
fifth time
any flat Earth map where we can actually draw
they're all
circles,
flat. They're all flat.
I'll love to hear that.
Yeah, they're all flat maps. All of them are flat. I already covered that. It's like he's ignoring me. All maps are flat. They have to be for circles, two-dimensional, of equal elevation to be plotted on any map ever. The only surface you can plot two-dimensional circles on is a two-dimensional flat map. So this little straw man fails for a fifth time. Yeah, in terms of this process being qualified, not whether or not I work on a Mercator, I'll get back to you on it. Do you want to try that for a sixth time? Because this process definitely exists and requires Earth be flat to measure elevation angles and plot circles on flat maps. Earth is measured flat for this process. Now, that's not getting a response. It's just round and round, what, for sixth time, presumably, in response, Bacon? Are we going to do this all day, moderators? I've answered him.
Yeah, I'm not challenging maps being flat. I'm not even challenging Earth being flat. However, there's a claim on the table by you guys that you can use flat maps to draw circles of equal altitude. to get your location accurately. That hasn't been substantiated.
It's called celestial navigation. 6 times a charm.
You're just repeating that. You're not substantiating that claim.
Sorry, substantiating what celestial navigation is? What, minusing from 90 timesing by 60 so that you can get a distance to a GP that you can draw a circle with based on its radius? That's what you'll open up your compass and draw on the map. That's what it does. That's what it is. It sounds like you don't know what celestial navigation is, Bacon.
Well, the feeling is mutual, because if you've ever seen anybody doing a fix, you're not gonna see them drawing circles to see where the circles intersect. That's just how you guys describe it, but never shown this to work.
But
never
did you not say?
In any way.
I thought I heard you say you tried it.
I said I tried drawing circles on the Mercator to check if that worked, and the answer was no.
Oh, I see. So when you say drawing circles on maps, you understand how that process would fail on the Mercator projection, then?
Correct.
All right. So not that it would fail, and not that it's not celestial navigation. You understand it is the process of celestial navigation, then?
I understand that's how you guys claim it works.
It seems like he's dodging my question.
Example of that.
Well, not what I'm claiming. It's what it is. It's called celestial navigation.
You can just claim that it is what it is. That's still your claim, and you haven't substantiated with any example.
What, like an area of equal elevation derived from a star?
Sure.
Okay, no worries. Latitude, no worries. I'll do it right now. No worries, I'll do that right now. Latitude. Done. A circle of elevation equal in elevation made by measuring an angle to a star called Polaris. Done. There you go. Substantiated. You going to shut up now? Yo, shithead.
Wait,
that's it. Done.
I'm talking about showing an example.
Latitude. Do we do this 6 times, moderators? Latitude. That's circles of equal elevation measured with an elevation angle to Polaris. Done. There you go, substantiated. We definitely use flat circles of equal elevation for mapping systems. Latitude. Are we done? Are we done?
Obviously not.
Are we done?
No.
No? Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're measuring Earth flat with elevation angles to the star called Polaris to derive latitude. Circles of equal elevation, specifically. 2-dimensional, flat areas of equal elevation. That's same elevation at all points on a circle measured with an angle to Polaris. You wanted it substantiated? There you go. There's a circle of equal elevation system. Latitude. We done? Did you want to go back to telling me it won't work on a Mercator? Feel free. 7th time's a charm, maybe.
No, that's done already. I just want to see
you did it 7 times.
Any map.
Yeah, you did it 7 times.
Yeah, you haven't shown any map where that works. You're just saying it does.
So any map or just the Mercator? So you're saying, let me get it right, let's get a quote from you. Are you saying you cannot draw circles of equal elevation on any map? Is that your claim, Bacon?
That's not what I said.
Oh,
I said
it's not what you said. It's just what you need to strawman me with, having represented it like I'm going to now position onto you. Bacon seems to be saying you can't draw circles of equal elevation on any map. Wow, that's idiotic, Bacon. How stupid are you?
That's what I said.
It's not what you said. It's just what you're misrepresenting me with. It's just what you need to misrepresent. Yeah, I know how stupid your tricks can be. And when I position what you need to be my claim back on you, the only one saying it, you don't like it. So your stupid assertion isn't that you can't draw circles of elevation. Oh, is it just me, or is he now using his mute button? Now he's losing moderators. You're going to tell him off? I got told off. What about him?
Okay. You're straw manning what he's saying.
Right, why is it he's getting supported instead of getting told off? I got told off. Why isn't he? Why isn't he getting told off?
Yeah, I'll just respond to what you said.
I'm winning. Yeah, circles of equal elevation like latitude, Bacon.
Can I
yeah, Bacon, you've lost. Yeah, I'll just keep yammering through you. No one told you off. So I'll just do to you what you did to me without getting told off, it seems, in this neutral server where I'm the only one who gets told off for interruption. No, Bacon, I won. Areas of equal elevation are definitely justifiable. And you're misrepresenting and straw manning me like I've said you can't do them on any map. Like you've said? You definitely said that. I'll just lie about what you've said. Quote, Bacon. You can't draw circles of equal elevation on any map, end quote, Bacon. Complete nonsense from an idiot. You idiot, Bacon. Why would you say such stupid things? You stupid idiot.
Yeah, congratulations for the textbook version of a strawman.
No,
Just
no,
a second,
you're trying to
respond
straw man me with
Hang
it,
on.
Dumbo,
Okay,
and
now
I've
you're going again.
repositioned
I
it
wasn't
onto
even
yourself.
beginning to respond to you.
Sorry, is it just me, or is it your straw man that now been foisted upon you?
I'm
So
trying to answer
you are saying you can't draw circles of equal elevation on any map, then, Bacon? It seems like that's what you're saying.
I didn't say that. I was asking you if there's any map you can provide where I can do that.
Which
Since
one
the
did you
Mercator's
draw
not one,
circles on?
clearly.
Was it just the Mercator? Were you so stupid that you only used a map that it couldn't be done on? Well, you're really
stop.
stupid.
No, I tried a couple.
Is it just me, or am I getting interrupted? I assume this will get me told off.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll get told off for this interruption in the middle of my sentence.
Nathan.
Maybe this person will tell me off.
Yeah, it's a moderator here. Why don't we settle down with all the insults? All right, we're adults here. We don't need to do that. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thanks, Dicelo. Thanks. Yeah, so circles of equal elevation would be justified with latitude. And given that this man said he's done it on the wrong map, I don't know why he'd do it on the wrong map. To get it wrong, that seems stupid. Well, which map would you suggest you could do it on to get it right, then?
Oh, I tried a couple. None of the flat maps I drew circle them worked. So I tried a rectangular projection. I tried
I see. Can I ask you something, then? So are you saying you couldn't do circles of equal elevation on any map? That seems really stupid.
Yeah, on any flat map, none of those worked. That's true.
None of
the ones I
they're
tried.
all flat. No, they have to be flat. They can only be flat. You're drawing 2D circles.
Just wanted to point out that it wasn't a straw man now
Yeah,
that
I
he
heard it.
is taking that position. That he said Nathan Strawman, and with he is now taking that position. So
yes,
pipe down, everybody else.
He's alluding to the idea that he's tried several maps and they've all failed. It seems like you don't know how to pick out a good map. You wouldn't last very long at sea, but then again, you're not qualified in the subject. I mean, neither am I. I'll admit that openly. You seem to be pretending like you're qualified, and you keep picking the wrong maps to do it on. Let me know when you get the right map that you can draw circles of equal elevation on there, Bacon.
That's why I'm asking for your guys' help.
Oh, that's my
because you seem to
sister.
know
No
that there
worries.
is a
She's
map.
qualified in this, unlike you.
I
heard the first 7 times, Bacon. I heard the first 7 times. And I answered you 7 times about it, though, didn't I, Bacon? Bacon. I answered you 7 times.
I'll just answer
the straw man fails,
listed a couple
and
maps
unless
that I
you
use.
rumpus me and nobody
That's why I'm
takes
asking
charge
for
of
you
you,
guys' help,
it seems
because
like
you
when
guys
I
seem
interrupt,
to
I get
be
told
to
off. When
have a
Bacon does it, it's just
substantiated claim
tolerated.
that
So
you
Bacon's
can
allowed.
actually
Maybe
draw
Dice
circles
Slow
from
will
a flat
pipe
map
up.
to get that work.
He's just
So
chanting
maybe
through
you
me,
guys got the
Bacon.
right map,
Bacon,
because
Bacon,
none of the ones that I
Bacon,
tried
Bacon,
worked.
Bacon,
Obviously, I didn't
Bacon,
try all of them.
Bacon.
I just tried
Bacon.
some. I think like
Bacon.
5 or 6.
Bacon.
Maybe.
You're just
None of
yammering.
those worked. So maybe you guys got the right one. That's why I'm asking you.
No, we didn't get any of that because I was in the middle of my sentence when you started yammering. Bacon, I've already taken your crap apart. You're the one failing to do this repeatedly. Now I've repositioned the straw man you tried to foist upon me with your ineptitude and failures to pick a map that you can draw circles on and actually locate your position with. That's your inability. Now I've said, all right, I'll go and ask someone who's qualified in it. Given that celestial navigation is something that you absolutely require to be qualified in to take a boat out. My sister did it. And my brother-in-law, I've already explained this 7 times to you, but somehow you think you completely unqualified. You're not telling me you're going to go and find out which is the right map, even though you're the one who wants to do it wrong repeatedly, apparently. You keep getting it wrong, dum-dum. Maybe you should look into how to do this. But it's called celestial navigation. You keep picking the wrong maps. Is your ineptitude and failure to pick a map you can draw circles on and find your position with a chance to straw man me with how none of them work? Because that's really stupid. But every time I put that to you, you say, you're not saying that. You just want me to be saying it, right, Bacon?
Can I?
What's the question there?
Can I say something?
Yeah, I'm done. I've annihilated this position. I've also given Earth measurements as flat with latitude, unequivocally measuring Earth flat with elevation angles. I've proven Earth's measured flat. I don't know what Bacon's achieved. Go ahead, Eli.
Is a nautical chart a map?
You're right, it's a chart. Yes, I would call it a
which
map,
one?
but I'd probably get told off.
Anyone.
Yeah, you could say so.
He's asking,
okay, so then
he's asking if
you
a
do
nautical
draw
chart's a
circles of
map.
equal altitude on flat maps, then, don't you?
Say that again. You're coming out a bit low.
So you do then put circles of equal altitude on flat maps, then, don't you?
I don't draw circles, no. I draw lines of position. Those
So
are
a
straight.
nautical chart is a specialized map that helps mariners navigate safely. They do put circles of equal altitude on them, don't they?
Can you show me?
What new thing are we coming up with now?
He's saying, can you show me? Do you deny that? He's putting it to you. Do you say no, Bacon? They don't use circles of equal elevation on nautical charts.
Well, they do lines of positions. These are a part of the circle of equal altitude. They are not drawn as circles, though. They are drawn as straight lines.
So we do use circles of equal altitude, otherwise known as circles of equal elevation. Then, so Earth's flat. Welcome to flat Earth. I'll just make my conclusion. I'll just make my. Is it just my rumpusing? Maybe I'll never ever get to make an unimpeded statement because Bacon's going to be tolerated by this moderation team. Die slow. You're going to do something about this, or is it only me that gets told off? No, so we definitely measure Earth flat then. No, it's a second attempt to make this conclusion about Earth being flat. Maybe this zealot is going to be tolerated by this server. Die slow, I'll appeal to you a second time. Second time appealing to die slow. You modded me. Can you mod him?
Bacon, let's allow Nathan to finish his points so that we can all have a coherent conversation.
Thank
Nathan,
you. Thank you, Die Slow. Yes, I'll put this to Bacon specifically without him chanting through me like a globe-believing zealot when we confirm, as he just has, that circles of equal elevation are what will be measured. That would unequivocally prove without doubt and for sure that Earth is measured flat. Earth is flat. That's why we use these processes to not die at sea when qualified to measure areas of equal elevation that this slippery globe believer was trying to strawman me with suggestions that they don't work on maps. Yet here he is saying, oh, well, yeah, part of the circle of equal elevation gives you a line of position. Yeah, circle of equal elevation proves Earth is flat. Earth is flat. That's how it's measured. For a circle of equal elevation. Right, Eli? Feel free to take your victory dance.
That was kind of a red herring, wasn't it? Talking about as part of a circle. Here again, I Googled again. I know I'm being a Google warrior, but it says right here, circles of equal altitude, also called circles of position, are used on a nautical chart to help navigators determine their location by observing the altitude of a celestial body like a star or the sun at a given time. Key points about circles of equal altitude function by plotting the circle of equal altitude based on their observation. Navigators can narrow down their possible location on the map. So maybe there are maps that you maybe you really didn't do this, Bacon, because it seems like very easy to do on a flat map.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? Because if you look at the process, if you look at someone actually doing it, you're not going to see them drawing circles. What they actually do is that they pick a straight line to represent a section of the circle of equal altitude, which is called a line of position. And they do those three straight lines and see where they intersect. None of those are circles. So if your suggestion is drawing circles on a map to figure out where they intersect, nobody's actually doing that. That's how it's described, because vaguely that's actually a circle of equal altitude, but that you're not drawing circles. Those are just approximations with space lines.
Very interesting.
Like
okay, that's very interesting.
Saying,
Thank you. Thanks, Dicelo, for moderating it so we can draw the conclusion now. So Earth's flat. That's how it's measured.
Okay. That doesn't answer none of my questions.
Your question about whether or not it works on a Mercator projection, I said I'd get back to you now 8 times. But in terms of how Earth's being measured, Earth's flat. That's how it is measured. That's how it's being used. No ifs, no buts, no babies. I'm still talking. You understand, we understand, and now the audience understands. I know there was quite a few attempts by you to obfuscate these facts, but Earth is measured flat.
Can I respond already? Are you still going?
Yeah, can I ask a quick question? Bacon, you said it was a curved line, but not a complete circle. Are you talking about an arc radiant?
No, it's a straight line. They draw the parts of the circles as straight lines.
So where does the intersection between circles come from that you're claiming Nathan's misappropriated?
Yeah, they see where the straight lines intersect. Those straight lines are representing a small chunk of the circle of equal altitude. They are too large to be plotted on a map. And if you actually try to use a map that represents the whole Earth,
so let me clear this up. You're saying a straight line in lieu of a circle. That's what you're saying, right?
Oh, in lieu? What does that mean?
So you said that they're using a straight line representing a circle and part of a circle. So that would be an arc radiant. which you already said wasn't the case. So I'm really confused now.
If that's what you mean by an arc creating a straight line that represents a section of the circle, then sure.
How do you have a straight line represent a section of a circle?
That's what navigators do. It's an approximation. The larger the circle, and the smaller the chunk of it, the closer it approximates a straight line. So they don't bother trying to make the accurate curve. They just make a straight line because that works just as well.
And you think that's sufficient? I'm gonna give the mic back to Nathan.
That's
See the contention.
It's ultimately us measuring Earth flat. Now, you can justify this after the fact all you like, but that's just a fact. That's a flat Earth measurement for a 2D area of equal elevation. That's areas all the same height, all the same position on a 2D surface, measured flat with angles, elevation angles. Earth's measured flat for the angles. It's then plotted maps are flat. They're produced with these same angles. They are flat when measuring them, producing them, plotting the ground on the maps themselves. Earth's flat. That's how it's measured.
That's not the point of contention. The question is if you can actually use a map and draw circles on it to figure out where you are. The answer is, so far, no.
No, that's absolutely the case. We went through it with the charts.
Okay, let me see an example.
Yeah, charts.
But Bacon, you are using lines. Are you using lines, Bacon?
I use lines, yeah.
I gave you a practical example with... Hold on. I gave him an example with latitude. Gave him an example with latitude, specifically, didn't I?
An example of latitude?
Yes, that's a circle of equal elevation measured off a flat Earth with an elevation angle specifically. Something that anybody can practically understand and observe in terms of the area of equal elevation. That's a latitude line measured on a flat Earth. I mean, this is fun and all, but we're all in agreement Earth's measured flat. That is how it is dealt with. In terms of how you acquire any of these measurements, it's elevation angles that we're actually measuring with respect to the surface. Aren't we, Bacon? That was cited as well. Eli cited it specifically when referencing the circles of elevation used on charts.
I want a citation of what you think would imply that you can actually draw circles on a map to get your location. I want to see an example of that.
Eli gave it you earlier.
He didn't give me an example. He gave me a citation what he thinks means you're drawing circles on a map. You're not. When you draw a circle of equal altitude on a map, you don't actually draw a circle. You pick a chunk of it, you approximate it as a straight line, you calculate its distance and direction using two formulas, one for the computed altitude, the other for the computed azimuth. Then you plot the straight lines, not circles.
Okay. So azimuth and altitude.
I don't think you guys know what you're talking about.
Okay, so azimuth and altitude. Is it just me or is he still talking? I'm answering him. Azimuth and altitude require Earth be a flat plane.
That's not in contention. We're not talking about what.
So we're not debating. So
you okay. Of your guys' claims.
If it's not in contention, then we all concede Earth is measured flat. Then.
Sure, I can give you that.
Okay, welcome to flat Earth. Then. Well, welcome to flat Earth. Earth's measured flat.
Can I now get a substantiation of how you guys...
Everything we've detailed here today requires Earth be measured flat, and my opponent concedes that Earth is measured flat. He's now going to concede it for presumably a cheap ad-hom based on my lack of knowledge of celestial navigation in terms of actually plotting it down at sea when your life's at risk, something I've never done. I've explained 9 times, or is it 8? I lose count, it's so many, that one of my family, immediate family, is qualified and has got the documentation and boat to prove it. So they could save our lives with areas of equal elevation. I'm still answering. It's the 9th repetition. And straw man, that he wants a cheap attack on me personally. But he's ultimately conceded that he understands implicitly Earth is measured flat. That's all we're here for. I mean, my actual overriding purpose in being here is to educate everybody in this server about the empirical process utilised to establish cause and effect when people claim to make an antipodal assumption travelling south a flat Earth direction to observe the sun for 24 hours. All of those descriptions also require a flat plane of reference to describe, travel to, and then hijack the terminology of science, which is why I'm here today. I mean, it's fun debating with Bacon and making him repeatedly concede Earth is measured flat because Earth is flat. That's how it's measured. But he wants to get a cheap attack on me for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, because you guys claim it works in a particular way that I never seen anybody doing, and I actually seen a lot of people doing, and I tried myself. I got working results, not by saying what you guys say it's the way it's done.
You got image posted in the chat. You got image posted in the chat. CPM digital map seems to be a tool that mariners use. I see circles.
Me too.
Can I give some detail on this?
If you don't mind?
Fine. If
hey,
it'll be tolerated, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I just listened to literally a minute or so of what was going on. No, there's the thing of the disconnect. These days they have particular plotting sheets that they use, and they don't draw out a whole circle, right? The straight line distance between the observer and the GP, that is still the radius of a circle of the size that radius would create. But what they do is they create a tangent to that circle, right? That cuts across the point of the GP, the point where from the GP to the person, where the person is, it cuts across that point, and they do that 2 more times. So they have 3 straight lines crossing. But they are at the point where the 3 circles would intersect.
I see. So what you're saying is,
how it works.
If I just pause this on screen now, it's slightly off screen, Brian. Just confirm I'm understanding what you're telling me. Do you see on the screen where it says sun? You're measuring your altitude angle to the sun. And at the point where this circle around your position where it says azimuth and altitude, yeah, where that intersects on the circle, you're saying they draw a straight line tangent to this point on the circle of equal elevation that they're drawing on the map. Oh, no, says Bacon. They're not drawing the circle. They're only drawing a tangent to this point that they've drawn out based on the radius they've calculated with the elevation angle measurement off a flat Earth. Then they do it twice more for other altitude angles with other stars. It's hard to explain when you're doing it with the sun, but if this was a star, they'd do it for 2 others, 1 ear and 1 ear, and that altitude angle would also get made into a circle, but they don't draw the circle, says Bacon. They only draw a tangent to it, because all 3 tangent points will cross at the GP of the location that you're trying to locate, which is where you are, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, where the sun is would be the center of the circle, and the edge of the circle, or the circumference, where the circumference is, would be meeting where the observer is. And the same would happen for 2 more. 2 more celestial bodies. Well, obviously not with the sun out, they can't. But if it was the night time or whatever.
Gotcha. I've got a better diagram up now.
They just have 3 straight lines crossing, which are just 3 tangents to those 3 circles, and that's the same. It's the exact same point as where the 3 circles would intersect. That's how
somebody's done their homework.
Yeah, well, I just want to clear up what's being. I didn't understand where it was being slippery, so I've bought for time, and Brian's now saved me.
No, I just don't think Bacon understood that. Did you understand that, Bacon?
Tangent points here for the audience.
That's what I was describing so far. I said like at least 3 times.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it has to come out of your mouth.
So it was a red herring then, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because
it's areas of equal elevation drawn with circles, but instead of the circles, if you're actually doing this, which I didn't know, it's making me look silly because I didn't know this. Instead of drawing out the circle for my audience, this is the circle. What's the point that you want? Well, you're trying to find out where you are, utilizing the angle measurement to the GP of the star and the circle around it. Well, what Bacon's saying is you don't draw this circle. All you draw is a straight line just here at this red dot underneath Z in the diagram on screen now. You draw 1 little tangent. Then you do the same thing for a different star, and it's going to have an intersection point potentially here and here on this circle, one of which is your point. But you're just drawing tangents rather than the actual circle itself.
You can also. I say I don't know if Bacon was aware of that they can just use 3, that they're just using 3 tangents. But I also heard Bacon describe 3 curved lines. But that'd be the same. It'd just be 3 small arcs of those 3 circles. That's all it would be.
Right.
So you don't need to draw a full circle on some of these plotting charts.
Yeah, they can just do this bit.
3 intersecting arcs.
Yeah,
or
these
3
bits. Just
tangents.
Yeah. Thing. On screen for my audience, you can just draw this little tiny bit of the circle, and then when you measure a different star over here, you just draw this little bit of the circle. That's all the arc bit you're drawing. Yeah, he's being slippery though.
Well, I don't know if he actually. I don't know if he.
No,
actually,
I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah, I don't know if he was being slippery from the bit I heard. Maybe he was just saying they don't do these big circles. They're not drawing them out. It's like they're not. But they are still pre-assumed because you're using the circle. You just know it's not drawing the part you don't need.
Right, you're just drawing a little bit of the circle of equal elevation. You don't have to draw out the whole circle. But the principle of an area of equal elevation, otherwise known as a circle of equal altitude, is still a circle of equal altitude in principle, regardless if you only draw a little section of it, because you know roughly where you are. You don't need to draw the bit over Africa miles and miles and miles away, right? Eli, can you go on mute?
Okay, can I get a concession now that there is no actual example of people drawing circles on the flat map to figure out where they are?
Yeah.
Because that's what you guys have been doing.
I'll give you that. No problem. If you want me to eat humble pie, I'll give you bacon. You know better than... He wants humble pie out of me, you can have it.
Just because they're not physically drawing a circle doesn't mean it's not implied, as you've
That's right, Dicelo. That's fine. Right, Dicelo, it's okay. I can fall on this sword. Everyone stop talking. Stop talking. No, that's fine, Bacon. You want me to fall on that sword and eat humble pie metaphorically? No problem. Now, I didn't know that. The area of equal elevation, otherwise known as circle of equal altitude, doesn't have to be drawn out entirely on the map, or you could draw a little tangent point to it. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Earth's still flat, though. We have to measure it flat in order to achieve it, and there's the interruption when it comes to the devastating flat Earth fact. That is a flat Earth measurement, an area of equal elevation, regardless of if we're only drawing out a tiny little section to intersect this overall area that we don't have to draw out on a map. I mean, we wouldn't want massive circles on a nice, pristine map, after all. Make that little mark as tiny as possible, I guess. So long as you don't die on a flat map, on a flat Earth that you measured with a flat Earth elevation angle. Good that we got to the bottom of that. I am ignorant. Thank you for informing me.
What's his point, though?
I didn't know that.
Now that we got to that was the first point. The first point was to address the claim that has been made by like 3 years that you draw circles on a map to figure out where they intersect, and that's where you are. Nobody actually does that.
You do. You do.
The second,
you do. You do. They're called circles of equal elevation. You don't have to draw all of them. You wouldn't want to ruin your map. But ultimately, they are definitely circles of equal elevation, and they're definitely used on maps, and they're definitely stopping people from dying. Just because some people don't draw the whole circle doesn't mean that's not what they are. On screen now that we know what we're all talking about, here are 3 intersecting circles of equal elevation, depicted so we understand the principle used with a flat Earth that is celestial navigation as described by me. I didn't know where this slippery little sod was going by saying you don't have to draw out all of this circle actually thrice. There's 3 circles of equal elevation in this diagram on screen now, taken from a celestial navigation manual. Now I know exactly what this guy's talking about. Yeah? Yeah, you don't have to draw the whole circle on the map like this diagram showing you how to do it with a circle of equal elevation shows. You don't have to do it like this with the full circle, Bacon. Now I understand what you're saying. You've never seen someone draw it out like they'd educate you on how it works. No, you don't have to draw the full circle on the map, Bacon. Just because you've never seen someone do it doesn't mean it isn't how it's done, though. This is how it's done. It's on screen in this diagrammatical example taken from a celestial navigation manual, Bacon. Because that is how it's done. In spite of your lie that isn't how it's done, in conclusion, yeah, it is. It's on screen now. This came from a celestial navigation manual. Unless you want to double down that this isn't how it's done, as is being educated in a manual about celestial navigation showing 3 circles of equal elevation as drawn and shown on screen for my live 135 people watching. Is this not how it's done, Bacon? Like in this manual for celestial navigation with these 3 circles of equal elevation? Is that not how it's done when you just draw a little bit of them?
I don't see your screen.
Oh, well, just take my word for it, son. It's absolutely how Earth is measured flat with circles of equal elevation, areas of equal elevation, circles of equal altitude, as shown on my diagrammatical example taken from a manual showing people how this is done with a flat Earth measurement prerequisite. Earth's measured flat with it. Here's the 3 stars scrolling down my screen, star 1, star 2 and star 3, that you'd measure flat Earth elevation angles to, so you could draw those circles of equal elevation that the Celestial Manual, in terms of how it's done, will show you. The one that you seem to be denying. You seem to be saying we don't use circles of equal elevation, or it couldn't be done on maps. Or are you now going to tell me that you don't like it when I'm positioning it like you're stupid and don't know how circles of equal elevation that absolutely are used work? Do you think they can't be used? That seems stupid, Bacon. Are we back to this, where you don't understand what I'm showing on my YouTube live stream? Figure 3. By measuring the angles to 3 known stars, the observer knows his location. So we're measuring these 3 angles, and we're drawing the circles, like depicted. The ones that Bacon seems to be alluding to the idea that we don't need, because we only draw out a little bit of them on a map. Yeah, we understood your point that took an eternity to get to, because you wanted to, what, make me look silly? Thank you, Brian. It's good that I've got people around me that aren't just trying to make me look silly when they bring up these things. We definitely do use circles of equal elevation, though, Bacon. Earth's measured flat with them. They're on screen now. This is taken from a manual on celestial navigation.
Yeah, I've actually done quite a couple of fixes using the method that we were describing so far, which is drawing straight lines to approximate chunks of the circles of equal altitude. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. What I had an issue with is the way you guys were describing before, which you seem to concede now isn't the actual way it's done.
Oh, yes,
that's fine.
I really feel warm and fuzzy for you educating me. I ate my humble pie already, didn't I? Did you not enjoy the humble pie you watched me eat? Yeah, thank you for it, don't I? But we do measure Earth flat, don't we, Bacon?
Oh, sure. Let's go with it.
Not sure. You just give it me in a yes. Yes, Nathan, Earth's measured flat for this process to work.
I thought a sure was better than a yes, but let's go with yes then.
Yes, what?
Yes, Earth is measured flat. You can clip that and play on your server how many times you want.
I absolutely, without question, will be doing that, Bacon. Thank you, Bacon. To quote Bacon, Earth is measured flat. That's right. That's what you get from the Flat Earth debate panel when you deal with people like Bacon, a globe believer. He'll tell you in no uncertain terms how Earth is measured flat, end quote, Bacon, globe believer. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to Earth Awakening's Discord server. Hopefully a few of the links to that server will go by in the live stream so you can subscribe to that server if you want to become one of their Discord participants. Also, of course, a massive thank you to my G Plus panel and all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and all that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on an after show. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.